Starting on a GSR head. Here's the intake ports. Just really started on it, just taking the roughness out. I'm not gonna polish it. I'm kind of probably leave it rough like that. Here's the next cylinder. This is about what it looks like, untouched. There's some where the seats are pressed in. You can see the casting marks on the walls. And the next cylinder. And the next one. See all those casting marks? Pretty ugly. Up there atop the bows, you can see there's something that you need taken out. You need it looking about like that. And here's what I use. I got this from Harbor Freight. It's a die grinder with a long something you can help keep it steady. And it only has one speed. This is like a pedal for a sewing machine. You plug it in and you can control the speed of it, so because it's wide open. If not, so you just control the speed. And because these bits, they like to be about 25,000 RPMs or so. This is 80 grit. It's called a 1-inch flap wheel. You use it with this big piece. The Dremels are like 1/8 shank, and these are like 1/4 inch. Here's what I buff with. It's like a Scotch-Brite pad. And here's the little shank. I think it's a 1/4 inch shank. And here's something for the Dremel. 80 grit. It's just like a flap wheel sander. It's like 1.5 inches, that one is. And these are like a buffing. I got them from Lowe's. It's an easy lock, different. I think this is a softer. This is a little bit harder, but I call these the little everlasting gobstopper looking dudes. But they do the trick. You put some WD-40 in your ports, and they do to polish it up like a mirror, which I'm not gonna do my intake like that. That's probably about as rough as I'm gonna leave it, which I'm not done with it. I'll do a final video. I'm just testing the new GoPro 7 and see how good it is really. And these are pretty good things to have to get in the hard reach spots. They come with some flat ones, or like, whatever, round. And these are more of like a cylinder. Abrasive sanding, cartridge and spiral. They got different sets or different grits. And it comes with a shank, which is like 52 piece, but there's like a different, they get into hard reach spots. That's what I use. And this is the stuff that comes with the Dremel, the little sanders. These are okay to use and to rough it up a little bit. Then you use these, man, and it takes care of the rest of the roughness, and that's about as polished as you want to get the intake. You don't want to get the intake polished at all. And when I'm done with it, I usually roll the edges, because intakes like velocity stacks, so pretty much you're making this or making another velocity throughout the engine. You want your manifold to be just a little bit bigger, so you pour it out a little bit bigger and you roll these into it. And that's what I do. That's what works for me. I don't know what works for you, but that's what works for me. I've been doing this for about 20 years now, so I'll show you the finished product. But pretty much the inside.